welcome to Market Watch, brought to you by the Business Times. I am Mangudya Dube.
And I'm Ben Mpofu. In this program, we'll focus on the most trending business news, views, and reviews. This week on Market Watch, we'll focus on the 2020 national budget.
We also look at what the Reserve Bank governor says. He says that interbank market has been manipulated, causing instability in the financial sector.
In other stories, we also focus on what the IMF is saying on Zimbabwe.
And the cost of living in Zimbabwe has increased by 72%. With annual inflation estimated to be around 500%, power shortages, erratic fuel supply, and a disgruntled civil service, the Minister of Finance and Economic Development, Professor Mangudya, is expected to deliver the 2020 national budget on Thursday. In their submissions, businesses have warned the finance minister against unnecessary creation of money. They argue that government should raise revenue first before any expenditure to avoid creating money, which will destabilize the market.
Well, the Confederation of Zimbabwe Industries, which is the lobby group for manufacturers in Zimbabwe, has submitted its proposals to the finance minister ahead of the budget next Thursday, where we're calling on authorities just to have fiscal discipline as well as capping and containing money supply growth. Remember, in the past, the central bank has printed money into the economy, which resulted in a record high inflation.
Now we wait to hear what the minister has to say to address all the issues that are currently happening in the country. The Reserve Bank governor has said the interbank market has lost its steam after some forex dealers manipulated the system, causing instability in the financial sector. Now, not only is the interbank market manipulated, but it was reported that 50 powerful corporates are currently in control of the power market as they continue to trade using illegal channels, and this has caused the unsustainable increase in the US dollar to Zim dollar exchange rate. This is a very unfortunate incident as goods and services have been pegged against this rate, and even the civil servants are demanding that government pay their salaries based on the interbank market rate. How did we get here?
Quite an interesting question indeed, but I think it's more to do with confidence, it's more to do with the policies that government will really introduce going forward, because remember, when you see business taking positions, looking for these arbitrage opportunities like selling and buying cash on the power market, it really speaks about confidence. And going forward, I think it's imperative for authorities to really come up with these confidence building measures that really restore the value of the local currency, because as it stands right now, there's not that much confidence on the Zimbabwe dollar.
And it would appear that the interbank market rate is at the center of activities on the market, yet it doesn't seem to be clear who is controlling it.
And moving on, the International Monetary Fund has warned authorities in Zimbabwe to fiscal discipline and also manage their debt quite well. Remember, the issue of debt has been quite topical for years. Zimbabwe owes about $8 billion in external debt to international financial institutions such as the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and the African Development Bank. And this has really had a huge impact on our capacity to borrow offshore.
Absolutely. And the Minister of Finance has assured us that by March 2020, he would have cleared all the debt arrears.
And in the midst of this, the cost of living in Zimbabwe has really gone up.
The cost of living in Zimbabwe has gone up by 72%. According to the Consumer Council of Zimbabwe, a family basket of 6, which was about $2,200 by end of September, has increased to almost $4,000 by end of October. Now, this has been attributed to an increase in fuel prices, cash shortages, the fluctuation of the power market. And the Minister of Finance, however, says that the injection of the new notes is expected to reduce the prices of goods and services.
Well, that's a bit ironical in the sense that you'd expect that the central bank and the Minister of Finance, when they introduce new notes, they're going to have more control on money circulating in the economy. But the question is, do they have the capacity to do that, especially given the competing needs that we face in the economy? Remember, there is the summer cropping season that needs to be funded. We have your replacement of the Command Agriculture Program that also needs to be funded, and government has played the role of guarantor, but do they have the capacity to have control on money supply?
On the other hand, the Confederation of Zimbabwe Retailers says there is a third force that is influencing prices. They argue that the general pricing in the country is outrageous and not reflective of the situation on the ground. The constant increase in prices has seen civil servants demonstrating, citing incapacitation, with doctors having gone on strike for over 60 days, demanding better salaries and improved working conditions. So, let's get this straight. There is a third force on the interbank market and a third force on the supply chain. So who is running the economy? That wraps up this week's episode of Market Watch. For these and other stories, do follow us on Twitter at BusinessTimesZW.
You can also visit our website on www.businesstimes.co.zw.
Or send us an email on editor@businesstimes.co.zw. I am Monalisa Dube. Till next week.
I'm Benan Pofu, and it's a wrap.